Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels. Actually, one second, I got to grab my mic. All right, this is my mic. I'm doing the podcast thing again, and this thing is quite helpful. So, one second. Gonna go ahead and start it. Make sure we're. Sorry, technical difficulties. All right, guys, welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels number 150, where I think I'm going to use Biker Sasquatch's intro, where the gas is pre-mixed, the coffee is hot, and the comments are absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I love you guys so much. It's good to be here on this lovely September 23rd, beautiful day in Western Colorado. Brady Metter, there he is. He's back after working on the countless hours on the Tulsa Enduro Cross last week. Good to have you back, Brady. Kim, Kyle, what's happening? I didn't get a bunch of announcements done on this one, so I don't know how. Hopefully everybody shows up, but I didn't pre-announce this show because I've been busy. So quick. Hey, there he is, Rick Roman. What's happening? Quick conditions report, because we haven't done one of those in a while. We usually do those during the winter, but it's dry and dusty, but excuse me, the weather has turned and it is now nice and cool, and it's only getting up. Like today it's supposed to be like 79, but yesterday, the day before, was in the 70s, like mid to low 70s, and as a high, and it was just brilliant. Rode Peach Valley last week, is that right? Well, yeah, last week, before the Death March. Then we rode the Death March. We'll talk all about the Death March here in just a bit. Jim Cherry, hey, there's my dad, Scott Spradling. Everybody say hi to my dad. It's funny that he's logged in. I'm surprised my mom isn't. But yeah, I'm going fishing with my dad tomorrow morning, leaving out of here 7:40 in the morning, flying to Missoula, Montana, and my dad and brother and I are going to be doing some fishing. And then here comes Thomas. There's Thomas. He's got to get his iPad or something for school. Jimmy Neihart, I'm sorry to disappoint. This isn't the Slavin show. Oh, I love you. Kim Jackson, how is Wyoming? I bet it's really nice right now. Grand County, checking in with Jim. Bruce, good to see you, man. How's it going? What was your question yesterday, Bruce? I forgot. I think I sort of answered it. But one second, guys. Bruce had a good, he was talking about the Rost off-road thing, and he said like 600 Rand and ended up being 40. But anyway, that Rost off-road mount for a Garmin 22, it's the 20s and 30 series of GPS is really, really good. Right. Mom's getting ready for the hot springs. Oh, go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Dude named Eric. Coffee, as always. Good to see you. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, price on the GPS mount. Sorry. That GPS mount, a lot of guys ask me about that, honestly, here on the YouTubes. I don't know if it's you folks that are watching live right now or people that watch later or whatever. But that thing is, of all the GPS mounts that I've kind of checked out and looked at and seen on people's stuff, I like that one way the most. And I got the info from my buddy Matt Caraway, who rides a lot of big gnarly stuff in Idaho, and he has two mounts. Like he has two GPSs on there, kind of as like one for backup, and he uses those, and they're just really good. It's all aluminum, super strong. And it mounts well to the Mako 360 dashboard. I've got a video of me mounting the thing. I had to tap two new holes in the dashboard to put it where I want. There were holes in the dashboard that were the right spacing, but they didn't. I wanted it right in the middle. Anyway, whatever. No big deal. Patty Cake, what's happening, man? Tony Andrews, what is going down, my brother? It is, like I said, conditions report, beautiful weather here in Western Colorado. Let's talk about the Death March, guys. The Death March was, hey, Rod, what's happening? Dirty Doyle, Ooh, a good question. YZ125X or KTM 125XC? They're both really, really good bikes. That is a much closer comparison than like a YZ250 to like a KTM 300 or a KTM 250, because neither bike is counterbalanced. Both bikes have the moto transmission. Both bikes have kickstands and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I'm going to say money by the YZ if you don't have the extra cash, because the YZ is cheaper. But honestly, just as far as the whole bike package and everything, the XC is brilliant. I mean, the XC is really good. It's got a button. It's got a swappable dome in the head, so you can have different compression domes for the cylinder head, which I didn't think was that big of a deal, but actually came in really handy on mine when I knew I was going to a super high elevation race. I just got another super aggressive dome, put that in there, rode it, and I can take it back out and put the normal one back in. So the other thing that the KTM has over the YZ is a big tank. YZ, I don't know why Yamaha doesn't put a big tank on their X model bikes. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe the four strokes have a little bit bigger, but yeah, Biker Sasquatch asking if Eileen's going to do the Death March next year. Eileen is the 125, if you guys don't know, and I think so. Well, I don't know. I really, really, really want to on the 125 to kind of to see if I can do it. I know I can do it on the 125. I just don't know what it's going to do to the 125 to get it through that. But I think I'd like to try it because it would be, I think it'd be a lot of fun. There'd be some really hard sections on it, but it would be good. Yeah, Jimmy Nyhart, I agree. E-start all day, every day, pay the extra money. I agree 100%, especially if you're buying two new bikes. Like, if you got two brand new bikes, the price difference isn't really that much on those. I don't know exactly what it is, maybe $1,000, but like, you're getting a lot for the $1,000. Electric start, big tank, swappable dome. Well, honestly, you're getting the fact that it's a KTM, which, I mean, I love Yamaha so much, but they're just driving me nuts. The thing is, if you have a KTM, if it's a 21, 22, like if you got buddies with 16s, 12s, 18s, even 08s, a bunch of parts like wheels, things like that will swap. Forks, like you can, I don't know. So if you're at a race or you're at a big ride, there's a lot of stuff that can swap out and you can use. The Longboard Life. Recently found you from your Team X jetting video. Got the JD kit in mind. Can't wait to test. Jet black gas. It was smoked. Right on, dude. Well, not right on that it was smoked, but right on. I'm glad you found us, and psyched that that you found that and hopefully got it fixed. It's gonna be awesome. Patty cake, orange plastics. Yeah, I do my best to make my KTMs not look like KTMs, which is funny. But yeah. Anyway, Dave Kessler from Western New York. What's happening, man? I like New York. I spent about 6 weeks in upstate New York. I really liked it there. So I was not riding dirt bikes back then. I mean, I had dirt bikes, but I didn't take a dirt bike. I took a street bike though, and that was a really, really brilliant place to take a street bike. Tons of really cool roads. Anyway, Death March this year was epic for sure. We had a great group. So we started with 10. So we started with 10. Couple guys, the guys that ended up quitting, one of them was planning on quitting from the get-go. Like he was not ever planning on doing the whole thing. He just wanted to see how far he could make it, still feeling good and not like just push himself into oblivion. And so he did great. His name's Tyler Leonard. Tyler, that was so much fun riding with you. He's an amazing rider, by the way. And he anyway, he could have ridden the whole thing, but he just didn't want to push himself to be so tired, start making mistakes. So he finished Timberline, which is a little past halfway. It's definitely not done with all the hard stuff, but to get through all the stuff up to Timberline and through Timberline is a big deal, especially not ruining things. So yeah, he did a great job. The other guy was Dave Morse, I think it's Morse, from Denver, and who backed out, and he made it all the way back to the final gas stop and didn't want to do the last loop. He's like, you guys are nuts, but thank you so much. So the rest of us, the 8 of us, pushed on, and the whole thing ended up at 175 miles. Last year was snow and super short, whatever. The year before that was like 212, but that's because we left from town, like from Gunnison, and rode up there and then did the loop and then rode back. So there was at least, I bet there was 30, 35 miles of transfer. So at least maybe more. So this one actually was, I think, longer single track and harder for sure. It was absolutely brutal. Let's see. Kim Jackson. The Java, what do you mean Java Maker must be down? Java's right here. Patty Cake, thank you for saying that. The Death March video was awesome. Thank you. And Bruce, that is crazy. People getting $9 grand for used 300s. Let's see. Jimmy Nyhart, Hancock Quarry Run next year. Sprads, Hancock, New York, Rocky Hill climbs, unless you're scared. Jimmy Nyhart, I'd love to get back east. That would be really fun. Kevin O'Laughlin, there you are, man. Yeah, I'd like to get back east. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe you have to work on that. It's a long way, as you know, but I have an awesome van and a rad family, and so that might be fun. Jimmy Nyhart ate so many cookies on the trail from Italy. That's awesome. Kevin O'Laughlin, by the way, thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin sent us a cake for my Zach and my birthday. That was last week. Our birthdays were last week. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you. It was awesome. Bike Vault coming in from Thailand. Good morning. I've been offered a 92 WR200. It was stripped but never rebuilt. It's worth rebuilding. Guy wants 1,500 US. I don't know, dude. That $1,500 sounds like an awful lot for a bike that you're gonna have to go through and rebuild. That's gonna end up being more like a showpiece than it is anything. Like, it's not gonna be all that cool. Like, I mean, WRs are neat, but they're like the old two-stroke WRs are kind of neat, but they're not that cool. So personally, I don't think I'd do it. Like, if it were an old Elsinore Honda or something really cool that you just want to like look at, an old Husky, something like that, it'd be worth it. But that one, I'm not seeing it personally. Chris Cooley, what's happening? So yeah, Death March. Let me just go over, because I gotta say thank you to everybody who helps me, and thank you guys for putting up with me saying thank you to them. But honestly, the companies that I mentioned, the people I talk about here, I really truly believe in them, because I've spent money on their stuff. Now, some of them have now started to give me things, and that's huge. And I so very appreciate it. But like all these companies, I purchased stuff first, and so I really, really like them. The Kenda Gauntlet tire was brilliant. It's pretty worn after that, plus another 40 something miles from before, so I got 220 miles on it. But that's about what I'm getting. I'm getting 300 miles out of those tires before they go. Thing was awesome all day and all night. And Foxy Bibbs ran one too. He was really happy with it. Nitro Moose's absolute necessity. I think we had one guy with tubes or tubeless or something like that, and he made it whatever. But like, I can't imagine riding what we rode with air in the tires. It would just be terrifying. You'd be worried about a flat the whole day. System Tech Racing disc guards and radiator for the caliper, amazing all day, banging rocks all day. Didn't bend a rotor or anything like that. They were awesome. The Kriega OS 12 saddlebags, giant thumbs up. I did have a problem early with one because I didn't get the thing tight enough, and it flopped off, and I had to stop and redo it. But after that, it was perfect and like so cool having saddlebags for those big rides because I had a bunch of food and gas and jackets and gloves and that extra light, that Dango light, which I will talk about. The Dango light, which I think if you've watched my other videos and stuff like that, it is the same light as the Oxbow, but it's not, they're not working with Oxbow. They're just buying the light from the same people that Oxbow buys their lights from. That thing was really cool as a just in case light. It doesn't weigh anything. It's really, really small. And it worked awesome. It's not bright enough to call it like a race light. I wouldn't use that thing to go fast at night at all. Like it's just not bright enough for that. And like there's like two little LEDs that make the 2100 lumens instead of like one big one with a good lens. And so it doesn't throw very far, but it makes riding home way more enjoyable than if you either just had a headlight or didn't have any lights at all. So anyway, that thing was awesome. XC gear, guys, the Mako 360, I cannot say enough about those things. Like that thing was whatever. If you are old and beat up and whatever like me, or if you're not and you don't want to end up like me, buy a Mako 360. Buy it from me. Buy it directly from Lance and Lisa. I don't care. Those things are awesome. Thank you, Brady Metter, for being the guy who talked me into that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Blessings Lawn and Outdoor Service. Finally got my Mikuni TMX down on my 125X. Awesome. Good to hear. Has the Kenda seen any mud? How was it up on the plateau? I'm not good spelling. I ride dirt bikes. The Kenda has not seen any real mud, Jimmy. I don't think it's going to be horrible in the mud. It was great on the plateau, by the way. Really good on the plateau. I don't think it's going to be terrible in the mud because the knobs are far enough apart, but it's not going to be brilliant in mud because the knobs aren't very deep. So, like, I don't know. We don't have a lot of mud. I live in the West, so yeah. But I think for the money, I would try it. And I know that Cody Webb's running their Gnarly, which is the next level sticky, and seems to be doing just fine. Eric Cancer, Roger Hurd, what's happening? Death March vid. Yeah, I mentioned having front brake issues. What was going on? That's a great question, Biker Sasquatch. I thought it was because I bent it. Because when I put my wheel, so those System Tech Racing rotor guards are not aluminum, so they're G10. Oh, actually, the front one on mine is carbon, but so they do flex. So if you hit something hard enough, it'll still bend over and bend the rotor. But so back up on my 300. I have had front brake issues forever now, and if I let things sit for long enough, a sponge front brake, and usually what I have to do is push the caliper and push basically some fluid up, boom, and it's good. And then I just put a zip tie or like a tie wrap thing on it to hold it tight, and it's fine. I don't whatever. I've bled it, replaced every part in it, and it works brilliantly when it's working. So anyway, I had the tie wrap on it, left, felt great, all that good stuff. And then I have noticed, seems like as I go way up in elevation, I don't know, there's got to be air hiding in there somewhere. It like expands or something and it gets spongy. So I thought it was going to vent something. I put it on a thing, I spun the wheel, and I thought that I could see, well, it was definitely not perfectly straight, but it wasn't bad. So I kind of bend it back with a crescent wrench and got it better and couldn't, anyway. Rode, and then it was like, whoa, it went, then it was like really bad. I was like, what the, so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I just rode with it, and I called it whatever. I got to the next stopping point and I pushed the pistons back again, pumped it, and it was perfect all the rest of the day. It's perfect right now, actually. So I don't know, if someone can enlighten me as to what the heck's going on, that would be awesome. Let's see. So yeah, that's what, I don't know. I like my Oxbow. It's great for night trail riding as a secondary light, Kevin. Yeah, like I said, secondary light, the Dango / Ox, but whatever you want, wherever you want to buy it is a good way. Be good under Bruce Kennedy. Seems like that light would be good working under my PU. I don't know what the PU is. See, I ride the Monkey Butt 200 over the weekend. Proper Eastern single track, wet routes, lots of nice. Actual mileage 70 day 180. Nice, right on, Dave Custer. Sounds like an awesome time. Jimmy and I, those Shinkos are scary in the mud. I like, as you guys all know, that the I love the M59. The M59 on the front of the bike. If you guys haven't watched the kind of after action review, I talk about it. It's brilliant. It's missing knobs and it's still working perfectly. It's so good. The Kenda has me looking as a sand tire. The Gauntlet's great. I would really try it. Put a new caliper and master cylinder on that thing. The bike has earned new parts dealing with you for over 300 hours. Brady, I probably will this winter. So for you guys here on YouTube that like watching our mechanic videos, that bike is coming all the way apart this winter. Crank, I mean, the whole thing. So I've got parts, some parts already here, a bunch of parts on order. I probably actually will. Bruce Kennedy, the piston seals are brand new. So I've replaced all that, and it's annoying. And it's weird because like when it gets spongy, literally all I have to do is normally, I mean, this, I don't know what happened on the Death March. I don't know what, anyway, whatever. But is I take the the caliper and push it in so it pushes the pistons back, and then pump it till it dunk, and it's fine. So there's air hiding up on that thing, or like Brady said, maybe there's some something going on. I don't know, whatever. And it is getting hammered. Pickup. Sorry, Bruce. Yeah, that light would be good underneath the pickup to fix things for sure. 237. Just got my task racing lights. Way brighter than I thought. Haven't tried in real scenario yet. Eric, you're going to love the task racing lights. Eric Bryan, what's happening, man? And Roger Hurd, I saw that Denise finally got her 22 gas. That is rad. So the Dango light is awesome for what it is, and it's $100, right? So if you already have a Dango mount for your GoPro, then you only have to carry one mount. That's really cool. I also like the fact that it isn't on the helmet all the time. If you don't do a lot of night riding, if it's just like I said, a just in case situation where you go a long ride, or if you come ride with me in the fall, I'm probably going to stick you after dark because that's what I do. But it's a great light for that. Bike vault. I bought an extension pouch for the Wolf Vest. This is the guy who invented Molly straps, the same guy that invented the Rubik's Cube. Who is still not on right? Oh, bike vault, that is brilliant. Those Molly straps are tight, but that's on purpose so that they don't move around. Jim Rupp, what is happening? So if anybody here has ever been in the military or worked with Molly straps, you know what we're talking about. They're super tight, and it's on purpose that you try to weave those things in. They're made to be like that so that things don't slide and move around. Guys, if you're watching this thing and you're enjoying it, hit the thumbs up. Back out of the chat, thumbs up, come back in. That would be awesome. Let's see what else. Oh, if you guys have watched last week's Schlog, if anybody's interested in getting Leandra an alligator, please go ahead and do it. His or her name is going to be Kevin. Greg H, hi from Australia, man. What's happening, dude? Yeah, Dango could also mount to a full face mountain bike helmet if you ride a mountain bike. Also, I mean, that clip can go anywhere. And actually, Foxy Bibbs, he bought one right before the Death March. And he used his after. And it's funny because Nick from Dango and I would talked about it, but like, it's pretty cool. At the end of the ride, he was, he didn't have I invited him into the van. So don't think that I just like put him out in the cold. But he he was over at his car getting geared down and then having some dinner before I made him come into the van where it's nice and warm. But it was awesome. He just clipped it to the handlebars on his bike and aimed it down so he could like work in his bag and things like that. So it's super, super handy. When you are an influencer, you can't afford a helmet for the lights and one for the camera and one for a holiday ride. Oh, that's awesome, Bruce. Oh man, I am so not an influencer in that way. Oh, that's awesome. The thing is, I don't have health sponsorship. That's what I need. Although I am so Gucci that I have two really nice fly helmets because I have one for racing that has nothing on it because I don't want anything on the outside of the helmet if I'm going fast and I crash. I don't want to catch anything, whatever. And then I have my normal trail riding helmet, which has the mount for the torch light and all that good stuff. So, Biker Sasquatch had a buddy that bought a Cayman Croc. Very bad pet. Lots of tank cleaning, stinky, and always an angry. Yes. Oh, Biker, that's what I'm hoping. I want that so bad. I want them to end up with this mean little thing named Kevin so bad. It would be so funny. Huge. Okay, it's not huge news, but huge news. Zach bought a 79 GL 1000 for himself, and I am so stoked. It's beautiful. It will be showing up on the Schlogs. It needs a little bit of work. It needs a head gasket. It's just burning some oil, but the thing runs and rides brilliantly. And oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So I'm really happy for him. He bought it for his birthday. And we're hoping that we can get that alligator to ride in the back of it. It's going to be awesome. But yeah. Yes, Biker. And yeah, Brady met her Goldwing. It's brilliant because, like I said, it's 1,000, which there's not a ton of those floating around, especially not in this condition. It's really nice. I think it has 60,000 miles on it, so it's got some miles, but it's really pretty. And yes, David Kessler, it's the original Goldwing. Bruce Kennedy, he'll be sinking the Honda carbs all the time. Yeah, maybe, but it's his. He's a good mechanic, so he can do it. It's sweet. He ordered all the parts to do the head gasket. He's going to replace all the rubber in the top of the motors because why not? And honestly, those things, the tops of those motors are easy to work on. The bottom, not so much. But so yeah. Anyway, that's super cool. What else about the Death March? Put a huge dinger in my pipe because I'm a moron. Whatever. I wasn't even crashing. It was just like going over a rock and like not quite getting over the rock and boom. And unfortunately put a hole in it. So now I got to get it welded to blow it out. But I have another pipe, which is going to be awesome. That bike had a manifold and I believe 2 carbs. Dave, if the 1,000 only has 2 carbs, that'll be cool. I know the 1100s and the 1200s, and then up had 4. I changed the timing belts. Yeah, no, we got that coming. Brady Metter, you have no pipe dings on your 450 because you didn't go ride it. You didn't come to the Death March, and you didn't race Enduro Cross. So I've seen some smoked 4-stroke pipes. It's gnarly. It's a lot, obviously, less often than on a 2-stroke, but man, and it's way more expensive when you bend a titanium pipe. What other questions, guys? Any other questions about the Death March, about anything, about dirt bikes, about living in Western Colorado? Brady, I was working. I know you were working. I'm just giving you a hard time. But you also didn't jump out for a lap. Yeah, there you go, Eric. Brian, you gotta ride it to bend it. I love it. Our next big let's see. So I'm going, like I said, this weekend I'm going fishing in Montana with my dad and my brother. I'm very, very excited about that. A little bit of fly fishing up there. And then we will be back the next weekend. We're going to relax here. So if anybody wants to come out and ride next weekend, Dry Creek is going to be on fire. It's going to be so good. The weather's changed. It's really good. And then, so that's next week. The week after that, though, we're going to the final round of the Weeby Hair Series at Pajarito, which is a ski resort outside of Los Alamos, New Mexico. I'm really, really fired up about that. That's going to be a ton of fun. And yeah, so if anybody on here is watching, come on down, say hi. If we haven't met, I'd love to meet you. Let's go racing. It's going to be a ton of fun. I don't get inviting rides anymore. It's Brady. It's what happens when you don't go ever. People quit inviting you. So Bruce Kennedy, any TPI bikes survived the death march? Yes. At least one was a TPI. Might have been two. I think. I forget. I don't know. But they did good. And both the guy, I'm pretty sure there was two. Yeah, there was two. Both the guys that had them are, they're great riders and have put those bikes through their paces already. I don't know if they've had any issues beforehand or not. Yeah. Let's see. Biker Sasquatch, advice on jetting for an XR650L with a twin air filter and an FMF powerbomb exhaust, crummy CB carb. I would go bigger on everything. Pilot jet probably need to go up 2, I would imagine, and also delete all the air injection crap if you still got that on there. Get that off. And then I'd probably go up like maybe 2 on the pilot. The main, you're still going to go up even at this elevation from stock, because they just lean those things way out to barely get past emissions. So maybe 1 or 2 up from sea level on stock on the main, somewhere in there. I think we don't work on a ton of those, honestly, but that's really close to what would work. Let's see. David Kessler, if you crush a pipe on a 4-stroke, you got a whole lot of other problems also. That's true, but I've seen it. It's crazy. Chris Cooley, you see that Bike Band 100-hour no maintenance TPI beat down, no air filter. Yeah, Chris, I saw that too. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I can't believe they're not going to do air filter and oil changes. Like, God, it seems like a bad idea, but it is Bike Bandit. They can afford to blow one up if it blows up. I mean, and I'm hoping the thing does really well. I think it's by the way, that is a super cool test. So I'm excited. Jim Rupp, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Guys, if you're interested in helping us out financially, what Jim did is really helpful. He just hits the little super chat button, gives us a few bucks. It makes a big difference. Honestly, especially we're trying to do more product testing and things like that. But anyway, thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Recently did the Cameron Gulch and Gold Creek Trail loop, but my buddy and I couldn't decide if everyone goes clockwise or counterclockwise on that loop. Do you know? No, I don't know. We come from Fossil over to that and, up Gold Creek and then drop down either left or right. And I honestly can't remember which one's which. Sorry, Eric, which one's Cameron. Anyway, this time we got to the top and went right, but I don't know what they do for loop, because I know guys loop it because they park over in Taylor. You can ride over and loop it back up and down. But I would say that having ridden both of them plenty of times, that's probably like, I would say it might be easier going counterclockwise. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. Have a sweet Christmas break. Come ride with White Knight. Eric, Brian, come to mile markers while you're there. Also, but that's also going to be on New Year's and stuff like that. We went Cameron down, Gold up. It was challenging coming up Gold. Yeah. Eric, both those trails are pretty tough in sections. So either way, I don't think either way is going to be way different from the other. So anyway, guys, it's 8:02. I do got a boogie today because I got a ton of work to do today before I leave for my vacation again tomorrow. I got fork seals and graphics and a recluse and something else. Anyway, it's going to be a big day. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around for this show. Punk Rock Club, thank you guys for being here. I love you to death. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, amazing day. And I hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes.